Hello, welcome to a demonstration on how you can calculate standard error. Now, it's important to have a working definition all the time when you are thinking about these concepts. And to begin with, what is standard error? Right, basically, it's a measure of how much the simple mean is expected to vary from the true population. Right. So therefore, it provides that estimate of the variability or precision of simple means. So basically, the idea is to evaluate whether the simple means are true representation of the population, right, from which they're actually extracted from. So a simplified way of actually thinking about this is to imagine that you know the average height of all students in a school, but it's not feasible to measure everyone. So you take a sample of students and calculate the mean height. Now the standard error tells you how much this particular sample mean might differ from the actual average height of all students, right? So in this particular case, I've got a data set of education performance results, right? And this is just a kind of a hypothetical sample that one can actually use, where we have got school district averages of results performances, and then we've got the state averages. But here we just want to evaluate the standard error. Now, when we actually calculate the standard error, we use the standard deviation. Now, many times it sounds a little bit confusing, right? When you think about what's the difference, right? They are all kind of measuring variability, right? But it's different type of variability. Standard deviation basically is measuring how data points are spread out within a data set, right? Whereas the standard error is actually measuring variability or reliability of simple means, so which is quite different. So how do you calculate that? What I've done here, I've kind of just done some groundwork so that we can focus on things that are much more important. But I can just briefly walk through how I was actually able to calculate these numbers that you see here, school district averages. So basically, I'm just finding the average of these range of data, right? So that's straightforward. So mean is, of course, the average, and standard deviation, I just use the standard deviation function, and again for the same range. And then, of course, the state mean is actually given there, even though we are not actually going to use it to calculate the standard error. Then, of course, the sample size is simply counting how many data points we have. Okay, so to calculate the standard error, basically we use the standard deviation, right, divided by the square root of the sample size. So in Excel, we do have the function called sqrt, which is square root. Double click on it, and the sample size. Right, there we go, like that. Okay, so that's our standard error. So then we can actually copy that across so that we can actually see which one seems to be the lowest. So in other words, the lowest will be the closest representation of the population. As here we can actually see writing seems to be the lowest, followed by the reading, and then I think the next one will be science, and then of course mathematics, and then the last category is actually all. So basically that's what the standard error is, simply helping us kind of understand how reliable or uncertain your simple mean is as an estimate of the population mean. So if the standard error is small, it suggests that your simple mean is likely close to the true population, and if it's large, there is more uncertainty and the simple mean may not be as representative of the population. So basically that's the concept of standard error right there, and how you can actually use Excel to calculate that. The calculation, of course, is based on the standard deviation. Otherwise, that's all I wanted to demonstrate here for you. Thank you so much for watching. Again, as usual, I like the video, and be sure to share, and of course, as usual, subscribe. Thank you. Bye for now.